Oh, it's the best day of the week! It's Thursday, everybody, which means it's time for another edition of Steve's Dangits, where we take a look at the biggest dangits from around the NHL over the past week, and oh, there were some high-stakes ones. A lot of Game 7 action in this one, and oh, wasn't Game 1 of the Battle of Alberta just ridiculous? So let's not waste any more time. Number 1, did you know the Pittsburgh Penguins had a lead in Game 7 over the New York Rangers? They did. They didn't end the game that way, and part of the reason is this goal that the Pittsburgh Penguins accidentally scored on themselves.
For Strome, Ryan Strome into the Penguin zone, hands it off for Kopp. Andrew Kopp over to Miller with a shot, scores! Ryan Strome tips it in, tie game. Or did he get a piece? This might be Miller's goal. Either way, it's tied at 2.
How about this? Rodriguez on the first goal of the game tonight got stymied by Shesterkin. And then he gets stymied by Shesterkin here, and at both occasions it went back down the other end, and it found its way into your net. Miller throws this to the net. I'm not sure if it hits Strome or not, but it hits something as it's going wide.
That's a heartbreaker. It's not on purpose. It's not even a mistake. It just goes off of Michael Matheson and in. Doesn't have to be a mistake, but it is a dang it, and a costly one at that. For a second dang it, Jake Oettinger. It's very rare that someone wins the Conn Smythe on the losing team in the Stanley Cup final, but Jake Oettinger made the case for a player on the team losing in the first round being nominated for the Conn Smythe or something. I know you can't get nominated for it, shut up. He was spectacular, unbelievable in net for the Dallas Stars. Nothing was going to stop him from stealing this series for the Dallas Stars. Nothing until he allowed the curse. Dude, I love those guys and I want to be their best friend. This is a rare one. We've never had this before. It's not even the goal. I'm not saying that Dallas blew it. For 7 games leading up to it, it looked like Jake Oettinger had the Dallas Danhausen, but instead it was the Calgary curse.
Chuck in the corner, back to Johnny Gaudreau. Gaudreau in front, feeds a pass to Lino. Stopped by Oettinger, took it up high. Gaudreau scores!
That's a dang it. Our first supernatural dang it. For our next dang it, a captain scoring on home ice to tie the game in Game 7. What a moment, right? Well, that's what John Tavares had for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Almost. Get a load of this.
Come on. Here's Tavares twisting away. The captain comes out in front and scores! It's getting wiped out. Penalty coming up against Toronto. We got an interference call of Justin Hall setting a pick and roll. Raptors fans would love the pick and roll. The official Eric Furlan with the arm up. Chris, the arm went up immediately. I know with the crowd erupting, they were late to call. Leaf Square was up on their feet, cheering hard. Here's the play down low. Tavares does a nice job of spinning up of Cirelli here. There's the pick right there. That opens up the lane. Goal goes in, but it's not going to count. Penalty kill coming up.
This was very confusing to watch during the Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle stream. Soon as I saw Mark Giordano's face, I knew something was wrong. Justin Hall took a penalty that negated the Tavares goal to tie the game. I'm not sure what the dang it should be, but there's definitely one here. Is the dang it on Justin Hall for taking that penalty at such a crucial juncture of a Game 7? You think you tied the game and all of a sudden you're on the penalty kill and you're in the lineup because you're supposed to be a penalty killer? Or is this a dang it because I cannot believe that is a call in Game 7. Well, Steve, it's a penalty. What does that have to do with it? They let all sorts of penalties go. That's the one they call? Or is the dang it simply, you thought you tied the game, and you didn't? That's a dang it. Also from this series, this wasn't in Game 7, but it was in Game 6 when the Leafs had an opportunity to close out the series. They were playing in excellent game up until Alexander Kerfoot's amazing pass to nobody.
Caught him at the last second.
Yeah, what an adjustment by Riley there. He bumped into Muzzin just outside the line. They both lost their footing. And you know the speed of the outside by Point almost got the lane, but an excellent recovery by Riley.
Oh, Kerfoot kicked it back, even away. Polonian scores! This time it's the Lightning that strike 4-on-4.
And this is just communication as Kerfoot thought Brody was right behind him and instead threw it to an area too late for Brody. Brody's going to his right, the pass back to his left, a quick curl up by Palat. And those first couple of strides gave him the time, once he did get the puck, to get this shot away before the stick of Brody could get there.
Andre Palat plays for the other blue and white team, Alec! Kerfoot with the old double no-look pass. Double no-look pass is when you're not looking and neither is the guy you're passing to. That's a dang it. For our next dang it, game 1 of the Colorado Avalanche versus St. Louis Blues series. Colorado looking pretty good until their worst line change of the season.
Kept it alive. Kyrou all the way over. That shot deflected up in the air. Thomas pressured by Girard. And Girard made the play. 15 seconds to go. Here's Kyrou right back in. Jordan Kyrou drags, scores! Jordan Kyrou ties it.
What a move that is. He's a toe dragging king with that puck and somehow avoids getting hit on that play after it looked like the Avalanche were going to succeed in killing off this power play. And looks, Girard gets off, Lehkonen gets off, the entire group goes off, but a quick counter by the St. Louis Blues cost the Avalanche, and they're off the toe of the stick, brings it back, and it goes underneath Kemper here.
Well, you can see how the Avalanche get confused when they come on for the change. It's panic mode, and it's two guys that go to Kyrou, a little curl and drag.
Loki, this is a nasty goal from Jordan Kyrou, who's just a nasty player. And this is probably going to be in hat picks as well. But the fact that all the Avalanche rush over to him at once in the yard sale, falling all over themselves, Benny Hill music ensuing with under 5 minutes to go in the third period of a game you're winning? That's a dang it. Also from this series and also from this game, Braden Shen takes a high sticking penalty with less than a minute to go. We need to change the definition of high sticking, because just because it hit Josh Manson in the face doesn't mean it was high sticking on account of Josh Manson was down on his knees.
A bit, 38 times.
That's true.
Biddington's been excellent. Another huge save here.
Obey Kubel. His shot. Stop penalty upcoming here against St. Louis as Manson, I believe, got clipped with a high stick. Shen can't believe it. He is racing after Steve Kazari.
Well, Braden Shen not happy with his calls behind the play on Manson.
And he's signaling that everything was down low.
Well,
And
they're checking out Manson for damage to determine the length of this penalty.
a 2-minute minor.
Be just 2.
you see Craig Berube wants to talk. Saying Manson was low.
Well, you can see the way Shen is there and he's swinging back and Manson is behind him. I could understand why Shen is having a beef right here. He's trying to get around and his stick just swings back so inadvertently and ends up clipping the face of Manson.
You could also have an argument, maybe a little bit of interference from Manson as he was trying to get by on the forecheck. Either way, a huge power play.
Now this dang it can be whatever you want. If you're a Blues fan, you can choose that the call itself is the dang it. To me though, the dang it is, why did you do that? That camera did nothing wrong! I've never understood why players do this. Like, there are many examples of players beating up things in the penalty box, mostly cameras. And you could say, well, he's very upset, it's a high-stakes game, he's competitive. No, I get all that. But, like, you broke a camera, man. Leave a comment in the comment box. I kind of feel like that's worse than the high stick. Like, it kind of feels like you should get into more trouble for that. And I'm not talking about an additional unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, although, yeah, kinda. But more like, you should probably get into trouble for intentionally breaking NHL property. Still a pretty funny visual, though. That's a dang it. For our next dang it, Game 1, Carolina versus New York. Now, New York and Igor Shesterkin getting the better of Carolina to start this one and almost to end this one. Barely any time left in the game. Carolina finally ties it up at 1s, and we head to overtime. And it feels like nothing is going to beat Shesterkin for the rest of the game, but Carolina knows they can solve him because they've done it once already. And then it dawns on them. This whole time, we've been thinking, how do we beat Igor Shesterkin? When the question we should have been asking is, how can we get the Rangers to score on Igor Shesterkin?
Handed it over to Trouba and then took it back. Svechnikov. One-timer by Smith, blocked out in front by Trouba. Has been on a long time. They score! Ian Cole, the veteran defenseman, just threw it at the net, and it got by Shesterkin. Carolina wins Game 1 in overtime, 2-1.
Cole's already down at the goal line. He jumped in earlier for a long pass. And then as he comes out to the top of the circle, he just turns and flings it. There's no real Carolina pressure to the front of the net. Ryan Lindgren is standing here. It goes past Lindgren, past Shesterkin.
That went off of Lindgren and in! Ah! After all that, after almost sealing the game, to lose it in overtime, having it go off of one of your own guys, oof. That's a dang it. And then Game 1 of the Battle of Alberta. Now, would you believe me if I told you I'm shooting this dang it's video after completing the stream for the Battle of Alberta? It's 1:53 in the morning. This series is going 7, you know that, right? Well, didn't look that way in the first minute. Mike Smith allows 2 goals in 51 seconds.
Anderson on the move, and he's got Lindholm open, and the first shot scores! Ignite this building 26 seconds in.
And this is just a play through the neutral zone that Bouchard came in the neutral zone and pinched. Now you've got 2 defensemen on the same player, and neither able to block the shot. Lindholm with a bouncing puck takes an extra second. Mike Smith deep in his net, down early. Talk of this game, the Calgary Flames like starting quickly. The Oilers at times have given up goals on the first shot.
Right back to work goes Blake Coleman. Works the corner, knocks it loose. Backlund on the puck, the centering pass in front, scores! Andrew Mangiapane! And the Flames on fire in a red-hot opening minute.
51 seconds in, you almost think that Jay Woodcroft has to take a timeout, and I think he is going to. His team's running around. Look at again, 2 guys chasing the same man. Good read there by Backlund, a no-look pass, and Smith on the goal line down again. Mangiapane left all alone in front, a bouncing puck off the post and in.
Not only 2 goals in 51 seconds, 3 goals on 9 shots in the first 6 minutes and 5 seconds, and Mike Smith gets yanked that early in Game 1 of the Battle of Alberta. These aren't even particularly good goals, and what's amazing is Markstrom might have allowed worse ones. This game is where goaltending went to die. Here's a dang it, if you're any one of the 3 goalies that played in this game, the previous record for goals in a Battle of Alberta playoff game was 12. It was in a Calgary versus Edmonton Stanley Cup playoff game from 1983. This game had 15! If you're watching to be entertained, that's a hat pick. But if you're a goaltender, that's a dang it. Last but not least, the most controversial of all. Is it a penalty call? No. Matthew Tkachuk, at the end of the game, scoring the Flames' 6th, 8th, and 9th goals of the game. Actually important, believe it or not, after the Flames were up 6-2. But anyway, Tkachuk scores a hat trick. Brady Tkachuk, his brother, is in the stands and he's having a great time. Keith Tkachuk, his dad, is in the stands and having a great time. Everyone is throwing their hats, except his dad. Keith Tkachuk refuses to throw his hat for his own son, and look, if you can read his lips, you can see why. Producer Drew pointed this out. Let me know if you think I got this right. No! My favorite hat! No! No! My favorite hat! No! I cannot believe it! Listen, I'm gonna say this. I've seen your cap-friendly page, Keith. You can afford a new one. And if you can't, Brady and Matthew can get with you. You got a birthday, don't you? And I'm gonna throw this out there. This goes for Keith Tkachuk, and this goes for anybody. Do not wear a hat to a hockey game that you are not willing to part with. Steve, that's ridiculous. You're ridiculous. Do you know how rare it is to see a hat trick? And especially one from your own son. Oh, Keith. No. No. That's a dang it. So, what'd you think of this week's edition of Steve's Dang It's? Let me know in the comment box down below. But for now, that is it for this one. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I'm starting to remember how I usually do this. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Do not wear a hat to a game unless you're willing to lose it. If you're not willing to use it, don't wear the hat!